The revelation about Simon Patterson's mysterious illness the year before had changed everything. Until then, the trial had focused on the lunch, the poisoned Beef Wellington, and the 3 deaths that shocked Australia. But now, the courtroom buzzed with a new question. Had Erin tried to kill before? Simon had nearly died in 2022 after suddenly collapsing at home. He endured weeks in the hospital, hooked to machines, doctors baffled by the severity of his illness. The symptoms mirrored the mushroom poisonings: relentless vomiting, organ failure, liver damage. At the time, no one suspected foul play. Doctors chalked it up to a rare illness. But prosecutors now argued it wasn't random at all. It was a rehearsal, an attempted murder disguised as sickness. This revelation cast Erin's motives in a new light. Prosecutors suggested she had wanted Simon gone long before the lunch. Their marriage was over, their relationship strained. Divorce had been discussed. Resentment ran deep. The lunch, they argued, was meant to be the final strike, taking Simon with his family, leaving Erin free of the ties that had bound her. But fate intervened. Simon didn't show up that day, and it was his absence that saved him. In court, Erin's face remained still, but the whispers around her grew louder. Each new witness chipped away at the image of a misunderstood woman. Toxicologists described the cruelty of death cap poisoning, the way victims suffer for days as their bodies shut down. Forensic experts walked the jury through her internet history, search after search about poisons and disguises, too specific to ignore. Investigators revealed the cancer lie, a story Erin had used to keep her own children away from the lunch table. Every detail cut deeper, and every contradiction made her defense weaker. The most haunting testimony came not from scientists or police, but from the families left behind. Relatives of Dawn and Gail Patterson spoke through tears about grandparents who adored their grandchildren, who were pillars of their community, now ripped away by betrayal. Friends of Heather Wilkinson described her kindness, her laughter, her devotion to her church. And Ian Wilkinson, the sole survivor, spoke of the night he watched his wife die, unable to save her, never imagining that the food she ate in a trusted home could be her last. The weight of grief in the courtroom was unbearable. Every story painted Erin not as a victim of accident, but as the architect of tragedy. And yet, in her closing statements, Erin refused to admit guilt. Through her lawyers, she claimed she was misunderstood, framed by circumstances, condemned by assumptions. She wept at times, declaring she had loved her family, insisting she never meant to harm anyone. But by then, the jury had already seen too much. It took them only a short deliberation to return with their verdict. Guilty on 3 counts of murder, guilty on 1 count of attempted murder. Erin Patterson was sentenced to life in prison, with a minimum of 33 years before parole. The judge called her actions a deep betrayal of family trust, and described the deaths as pitiless and calculated. For a quiet country town, for an entire nation, the story of the mushroom murders was sealed in history. But even with the verdict, questions lingered. Why did Erin really do it? Was it about revenge against Simon? Was it desperation, resentment, or something darker? Did she ever believe she could get away with it? The case left gaps that no sentence could fill. And perhaps that's why it captured the world's imagination. Because it wasn't just about poison. It was about betrayal, the fragility of trust, and the terrifying thought that danger can be hidden in the most ordinary places, like a family lunch. In the end, Erin's children lost grandparents, a mother, and the stability of family. Ian lost his wife and nearly his life. The survivors carry scars that no courtroom can heal. And Erin herself? She now sits in a prison cell, her name forever tied to one of Australia's darkest crimes. Her story whispered in kitchens and dining rooms across the world. But here's the chilling part. For every crime we hear about, for every headline that shocks us, there are others. Hidden, unsolved, and waiting to be told. Behind closed doors, behind smiling faces, behind invitations to dinner, secrets linger. And sometimes those secrets don't stay buried for long. So ask yourself this: when you sit down at the table, how well do you really know the hands that prepared your meal? Because Erin Patterson's case is over, But the next story, the next betrayal, the next shocking truth, could be closer than you think. This was the story of the mushroom lunch murders. And there are more stories, darker and stranger, waiting just beneath the surface. Join me next time as we go deeper. Comment below, like and follow.